Okay. Last we left off, you guys blew up the main attraction in a parade. Beans indeed. By blowing up a large float with a dwarven man inside, who you had deemed was attempting to snatch arcane control cores from all sorts of different constructs and automatons around the area, and wherever he seemed to be traveling. I'm gonna have to move my Steam quick. There we go. And I believe the bigger developments here were that you found Ragnar. Not in the state necessarily that you remember, but you found him. And the dwarven man was also taken off to the temple to be healed and kept there for questioning once he came to consciousness. So with that, I'll ask y'all, what would Mount Claw like to do?
Sub to Twitch.
Let's go, thank you.
I mean, I'm kind of hurting a little bit from that, so I'm just gonna. The crab's gonna vibe over here and kind of lick our wounds a little bit after we help whoever needs some help.
I'm sorry, did someone draw Bart Simpson? Or Homer?
Simpson.
That
Is that what that is on the map right there?
Barm,
Barm?
maybe.
Why is Barm on the map? Excuse you. Out of here.
The roll 20 is weird.
Oh.
Oh, the updates? Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. My balls. My balls.
Oh, but yeah, you actually, you recall that chief engineer of the town, Miss Orlov, was saying that if you guys had any construction requests in mind, to let her know, or to let Goggles know at the entrance of town around his little smithy.
Hmm.
Your auto cart would be essentially rush ordered for some time before, not sunset tonight, but like the next day.
Okay.
So I guess current points of order are whatever you guys would like to do around town for the time being. It is, I'd say after all that, it has starting to get into the evening. Still in deadlock. And
There's a festival going on, right? Or did this interrupt it?
the festival was interrupted, but right now the guards are kind of like looking around and like slowly ushering the people back around. They're like, you see some of the other engineers, like people in the coats hopping up onto the other floats and like checking the insides of all of them, making sure that there is not a dwarf stealing anything out of them, or that nothing had been tampered with. But it seems like everything's kind of like they're trying to get it back up and going, but they're taking no chances at this point just to make sure that this isn't going to happen again. So the people are kind of like, it seems most people are safe and the commotion's died down from the applause that you've received. But you do have like a couple of people coming up to you and just like kind of like giving a nod or saying thank you, like little things like that. As a matter of fact, I will say, let's have a look here real quick.
Oh yeah, Art held 2 different people at gunpoint to interrogate them
Sure did.
for a good guy.
Wait, what did I do?
You intimidated a lot of people.
Oh, I sure did. The more I've been playing Art, the more I wish that I had taken intimidation as like a proficiency or something. 'Cause it just works so well.
I think I remember when we were walking into that prison or something, or before, you were like, I'm not much for is it torture or something, or like you said something that was like playing you're nice, I think. But then you were the one that just like teleported on the man.
I mean, I'll do what I need to do, to scare some people, but I don't want to actually hurt him or nothing.
Yeah.
Scary Raven Queen Elf.
Yep.
But I will say, like, just from the amount of people like kind of going off and like talking to one of the guards, one of them does eventually come up to you and just asks, yes, who would be the leader of your troop?
That would be Warrior King Trent, of course.
Hey, wait, hold up. Listen, I thought there was a point where we were gonna switch it around. I wasn't always gonna be the guy.
Well,
One word.
Yeah, but at some point, it just makes more sense to have someone who understands the single voice is important.
And you know what they say, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Oh
Well, the crab
god.
was
This
next.
far.
We're just waiting for them to speak up.
but I just asked because we were both asked by Miss Orlov, and we also were given some public collection as a thank you. It is we have gold pieces here if you would like to the leader of your troop, and thank you very much, Mount Claw. We would not have had the hands on deck to deal with this if not for you. So thank you for the lives you have saved today. Hands just kind of holds out a
That's what we
large
do.
leather sack.
Trent tried to grab a hold of it. Thanks.
It's pretty heavy.
Oh man, that's a lot of gold. Yeah, no problem. Mount Claw and shit. Yeah.
Can the crab salute?
Can the crab salute?
Well, mostly just. I'm asking you: is the crab fine to salute? The crab's gonna salute if it's okay.
It kind of just like
that's-
looks up at you, give it a nod, does a big salute. You see some of the
Yeah.
kids like looking at it, also give a salute back.
Hell yeah.
So, how much is it?
The D100 was to see how much to add onto the base from public collection. It's gonna be 366 gold.
Okay, well, somebody gonna have to do some quick maths. 366 divided by 5.
By 5, let me think here. That's gonna be 5. That's gonna be
You don't ever
Well,
include-
60, 72, 71 each, and one person gets 72, I believe.
Okay, well, I'll take I'll take a 71. I feel like Marjorie and the crab deserve the extra gold this time around. They really did a whole lot back there.
Well, I'm gonna be honest. I don't know how much one gold's gonna do, but yeah, I guess so.
We are two people.
It's true.
The crab
Yeah.
reaches up and gingerly plucks the single gold piece between its pincher, and it looks very pleased.
Very nice.
Oh.
That's a fancy crab.
You actually watch as from what you had seen before, Marge, its eyes begin kind of glowing green as it examines the coin. And it like slumps just a little bit and kind of like reaches up and puts it on the top of its shell for you.
Ugh.
Seems like it was just checking to see if it was magical.
Fair enough.
I wish, little guy. Alright, I chatted to the pile.
That was the rest.
Where is my gold? Bruh. Who stole my pen? Was it me before?
Damn it, past
Tell
Marge.
you. Past March, man. What are you doing?
Actually kind of an
Oh,
asshole.
She always gets my ass every time.
She do it.
Oh my god, I forgot to tell you, since taking it out, I had a candle lit yesterday. I went out to the store. My wife did not notice that my daughter had put a pen in the candle. Like, it was fine, it wasn't
Ooh.
flame, but it was just chilling in the wax, but then it like slowly melted around it. And then my daughter also blew it out. So when I got home after like the gym, the store, and a couple errands, it was just a pen deep in this wax that formed around it. I was just so confused. I was like, "Did I use what?
How does this happen?
Who did
Who do you work
I
for?
pulled it out, and then the cap is still in the wax somewhere.
Good lord.
Yeah, I just love that.
That's amazing. But yeah, seems like you guys have a nut as well. Seems like you guys mostly have reign of the town right now. Whatever you'd like to do for the rest of your evening. If you're just vibing, if you'd like to sleep it off, if you have any work orders you'd like to place, if you'd like to go check on the dwarf, whatever you'd like to do.
I have one very specific work order that I want placed. So like they were going to like make me a thing, you know, if I wanted to or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I just want them to go to the goddamn temple that the boys in Ragnar just fucking destroyed, and just fix it up a little bit so it doesn't look like a shack anymore. It looks more like an actual place to, you know, worship.
Right. Okay.
And yeah, that's it.
I don't know. We did take our sick friend to him, and all he did was just lock him up.
Yeah, I mean, he locked him up, and then our friend also completely destroyed the basement and blew off the hinges of a door, and kind of like, you know, damaged some property, you know.
You know, give and take.
Some Ragnar
Yeah.
shit.
I mean,
Actual
yeah,
Ragnar shit.
I respect that Ragnar shit, but you know,
We'll find out he
Yeah.
actually wasn't going crazy. He just probably
He's
wasn't
just fucking bored.
I'm just
He
afraid of
said,
the dark.
Yeah, that's whatever.
holy water.
Woke up sweating. Okay, yeah.
Winter's just gonna vibe. I guess go to like tavern. I mean, I can't really think of anything.
Addressing the first bit though, some of the engineers around the warehouse kind of like flag you down, Trent, when you're looking to make your request, and like as you do, they're more than happy to oblige, and they say they'll essentially just like clear out a little bit of space for it from some of the like alleyways that had just kind of been mostly used for trash pickup and stuff like that. Otherwise, expand a little bit, make it a little more polished. It'll take some time, but they're more than willing to accept. They actually seem kind of surprised at the request as well. Like, you get the vibe around here that, like, again, that these are less godly people, and that they're very much more practical and, like, self-sustaining, kind of taking pride in their own craftsmanship and stuff like that, as opposed to what they just see as, like, asking for favors, essentially. But more than happy to oblige at your request. They're not in a position to question you right now. And Winter, going back to the bar, you actually walk in, and like a couple people actually come up and like clap you on the back, and like someone actually just hands you a tankard the second you walk in, kind of like slap you on the back and send you on your way. But
Fine.
you see the you see the Goliath man that was essentially asking for more or less a bribe before to give out some information. Kind of just like puts his hands on the counter. I am sorry, I did not realize I was going to be talking to the hero of the town today when I was asking for a donation earlier. You understand, it's just business, yes?
No hard feelings. I don't remember who you are.
I am the proprietor of the Iron Rose here. My name is Boris. If you need anything, you can yell for me or any of the servants in the back, yes?
Okay, thank you.
Of course. And, the drinks are on us today. Please, take your fill.
Oh, I will. Thank you.
Man, after my own heart. And he, goes off, like, polishing a glass and goes to tend to a few other patrons at the end of the bar. It's a pretty, like, you're used to the, like, being around the Four Wishes Inn at, back at Shatterhold and, like, tavern over there. There's a lot of, like, usually there's a little bit of, like, music, and, like, they have the, little crab pond over there now, but it's pretty cozy otherwise. This place is way more... It's less homey and more designed for efficiency. The tables are all spaced evenly. Everything is very... It has less heart to it, but it definitely has more, like, business end. If you get what I'm picking up.
Yeah. Like a
Less, like, entertainment and
diner or
music and
something.
stuff like that going on. Basically, yeah. But the quality of the ale is still solid.
I'll just be chilling there.
Mhm.
Maybe I don't know if people would react to it, but I'll have my ferret like in front of me, doing little tricks over the glass and stuff.
You know what?
Guilty boy.
Give me a flat charisma check. Actually, no. You can use your charisma. Just roll a d20 plus your charisma real quick.
I knew I didn't have something open. It's my old character sheet. I need that. Charisma 3. Not on that. No, I want the good rolls in combat.
It's too late. You actually kind of like let your ferret down onto the bar, and you see like Boris notices at first, like from across the bar, and kind of like you see his eyes go like a little big, and then just like kind of just shrugs and goes back to work. He feels like you feel like he's probably seen stranger. Then as your ferret is let down onto the bar, like you polish off the first tankard, and before you can ask for another round, it kind of like wraps its body around it, flips it up into the air, and starts doing like a like it sits to where its like shoulder blades would be on the counter, and its feet are up in the air, and it starts just like kicking and rolling the tankard with its feet. And there's a lizard folk patron next to you that looks like to be up in his ears, like his scales are starting to flake a little bit. And you see he looks absolutely trashed. And he's down looking at his tankard, and he looks over, he kind of does a double take, and his eyes go big. He looks at you, realizes that there's like cold breath coming out of you, like which he's not used to, and looks back down at that. You see him just go, I have never in my days. He just like passes out and hits his head on the counter.
Yeah, I'll just look at my ferret being awesome, and I'll just kind of mumble and like, who needs a magic crab? Yeah, you.
Your ferret seems
Margin
very
the
proud.
crab burst through the tavern wall. The fuck?
Alright, roll for initiative.
I'll take him.
Hmm.
I think I'll lose though. My death grips don't work ever.
Ragnar and Art, what would you guys be doing, and do you have any work requests?
No, Ragnar would just be sleeping off the bad feeling, or trying to, you know.
Did he get eaten?
You'd probably
Lucky.
check in on making sure the escort's going up. That's still happening, right? Can we get an update on the escort for the? Or did that already happen?
Which escort are you referring to? Escorting?
The escort for the goblin people. For
Oh,
new-
yes. That would be... So that is going to be taking place from over, like, an extended period of time, and they're going to be
Gotcha.
traveling from Mythos Outpost, like, south of Shatterhold. They're going to be Actually, yeah, no, it would be south of Shatterhold. So it's...
I just wanted.
a little
Ragnar
further away
would
from
want
right
to
now.
even if he was like decommissioned, he would still want to make sure that the litigation for that shit's happening. Like,
Mm-hmm. I was gonna say, if you wanted to, like, actually send out a letter or some sort of parcel back to House Ragnar, and just,
Mhm.
like, you know that they basically, like, know to send couriers to Shatterhold currently, unless told otherwise, to, like, have runners give you updates and stuff like that. that you would probably have a correspondence waiting for you eventually, or like soon enough. Doesn't take them too long.
Yeah, that I would be doing that then.
Okie dokie. So you are preparing that and getting that sent out. For free, of course. They are not going to charge you after today. And then, Mr. LeBlanc, did you have anything you wanted to do tonight?
Yeah, so I think what Art would want to do right now, it's kind of after kind of what happened with Ragnar and kind of the conversation they had like a little while ago. I think he wants to look more into kind of what's going on and seeing if he can figure anything out. I know I have a sample of Ragnar's blood that I took when he on the cart. And I just kind of want to look at it and see if there's like anything, I guess just anything kind of strange going on that I can notice. I know that it like sizzles and burns. Obviously that's not normal, but like anything that I can discern as to why, like, is there some sort of infection or something like that? Like I just see if I start narrowing things down basically.
Okay, I gotcha. I would say you could go ahead and give me a medicine or religion check.
Okay. Do a medicine check. Or a religion check. That's interesting.
Hey, Marge, thanks for always being healthy.
No, you are.
Getting possessed or freaking out or about to blow up.
We just
Oh my,
been vibing
by the way,
with crap.
By the way.
you rolled 420 d6s. I just saw that in the chat. By the way. Oh two nannies in a row.
Dang.
Oh my god.
Y'all out here actively
more
just flipping coins instead of rolling dice.
We really are.
I love it.
Art's good at that too. I think me and him are notoriously good at like outside of combat rolling crazy
Natties.
Like, charisma checks and stuff.
So,
I convinced the two.
oh, go ahead. Yeah. The rolls that matter, you know?
Oh, exactly. The ones that matter.
So I'll ask this. Ragnar, you did willingly give samples to Art. How much did you tell him about, like, what you knew was going on with you beforehand?
How much did I tell Art?
Was it full disclosure? Did you withhold anything?
No, I pretty much told him everything.
Okay.
I told him everything, and then that night that I gave him the all the details. Yeah.
Right.
So I told him what I gave Trent.
So I will say, well, the natural 20, looking into Ragnar's blood then versus now. When you initially took the sample from Ragnar, because you're looking at the one that you took before Ragnar came out of the temple looking like this, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
I haven't gotten anything since.
Right. I was just making sure. Before, as you said, Ragnar's blood was very much, very potent. Always came out steaming, essentially, as if quite literally being boiled in his body from rage. However, you noticed, in one of the vials that you took, that was like, let's say if it were over the course of like a day later or so, it's a little less potent. And that does track with what Ragnar told you about what he was going through at the time. However, from what you saw recently, and from what you can pick up based on what the cleric said about this being some sort of like demonic interference, essentially, you notice that the blood that came out of Ragnar during that fight with the Zelmora float was far more potent, far more... Essentially, it was hitting the ground and still boiling on the ground, like it was basically bubbling at that point.
Right.
And it was much darker. Whatever it is acting as some sort of turbo stimulant, effectively. And you very much get the energy, like, as much as Ragnar has arguably the highest pain tolerance of any member of Mount Claw, probably up there with Winter. You can tell just by...
me.
Easily up there with Marjorie, sorry.
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there it is. But you could tell that any sort of like any creature that would have this going on inside of it that wasn't like, innately a like fire-based creature,
Right.
is probably going to be suffering from a lot of pain and discomfort from this. So you get that it is very much demonic in nature. It is probably overstimulating Ragnar's body, and you did see that with some of the unarmed strikes that he was throwing into the plating on the float.
Right.
That was like essentially just tearing straight through skin and sinew down to bone. And you saw that it was trying to scar and heal over, but a lot of it was just steaming most of the time anyway. Think like Attack on Titan level wounds.
Yeah.
I see.
But whatever it is while it is very efficient, it seems to be deteriorating him at some rate.
So, am I to understand that, like, is this something that has always been a part of Ragnar and is now kind of like being amplified by something, or is like becoming more extreme for some reason, or is this or is this just something that has then attached itself to him and is now like amplifying that? Does that make sense? Like, is this something that's always?
I
Is this
understand
like just
what you're saying. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Normally it would be very difficult to tell, but with your natural 20 and with you've learned to go with your gut on a lot of things like this, and your times like dealing with anything medicinal. And your gut is immediately telling you right now, like, at first you were trying to think about that yourself, like, well, maybe this is just like, maybe this is just like some sort of extra adrenaline he's receiving from whatever this, like, power is. And then you think back and you remember just seeing that, like, almost brackish, extra brown tinge to the blood that was hitting the ground and that was being smattered whenever he took a hit. And you realize that, like, it's almost like its own form of blood entirely. It doesn't seem like it's Ragnar's own blood. So whatever it is more corrupting than it is, like, amplifying. If that helps.
Yeah, definitely. So, because I guess my question, my thought process before was, if this is something that's innately part of him, then if we were to get some sort of, or to remove the demonic force, then I would assume that would also probably kill Ragnar. Versus, this seems more like something we could get rid of the part that's actually ailing him more so. Would that be correct?
I would say, even with a natural 20, you can't be 100%
Can't be
certain.
sure. Yeah.
But it is safe to assume that if you were to exsanguinate the blood that was corrupted and or being replaced or being, produced in him now, whatever is going on, if you were to get rid of it, it would be very dangerous for him, like, overall.
Got it. Okay.
Because you take that amount of blood out of anything. Because, like, you saw before, like, you've seen Ragnar take some heavy hits. And, like, you've never seen him just lose this much blood at once before, basically. Especially from even just his own doing. Given, it's almost like his body is producing too much blood right now. So it's the best way I can describe it is producing too much blood that is not native to the host, and that blood is almost stimulating him to the point of needing out of its host.
Interesting. Okay. Interesting. Okay. Awesome. I think I can do something with that then. Okay. Cool.
All right.
Yeah, and that's what I'm doing right now.
All right. Everybody has their own projects and things that they're doing for the evening. With that, if you guys would like to take a long rest and get up the next day, you may. If there's anything else you'd like to do beforehand, please let me know. Otherwise, we will roll over onto the next dawn.
Sounds good to me.
Okie dokie. And
Oh, that's the bartender. Yeah, I had to pay for the information.
yep, that was the guy that handed you the
Charles just
tankard
say
that
that
had
out
the
It's like, that's who you are.
like as you wake up at the end. Son of a bitch. Yeah, no, I'd say, would everybody be retiring to the inn/tavern for the night? Aside from March, who I assume would be staying outside.
Yeah, I am.
Okay.
Yeah, I would as well.
Mhm.
Well, you know what I mean. I'm like sleeping.
Right. I'd say, as you guys kind of like came out of your rooms and gathered for the morning, like Boris would look over and just like give you his typical cheesy business smile and a nod. And out at one of the tables in his cloak, you would see Oscar, the cleric from the temple that got a little banged up, kind of like sitting there holding what looks like a hot tea, just kind of like waving and trying to flag you guys down. Oh, it is a pleasure, Mount Claw. Thank you for what you did yesterday. And I'm told that there are to be repairs and modifications made to the temple and improvements, so thank you so much. Really means a lot to me, and hopefully the other members of my clergy will come back soon, and they will be happy to see it as well. But in the meantime, I'm trying to look for new apostles and new other clerics to take in. Spread the word as you will. But I mostly just wanted to say thank you, and Mr. Ragnar, I don't believe we've officially met.
You found the right person?
Yes, and he kind of like looks over the heavy, the like heavy scarring that's on your arms. Are you feeling well? I apologize I couldn't do much for your situation. I was willing to try holy water, but I was told of your lineage. I didn't want to risk it.
Yes, they would not be the best idea we've had. I can, and I'm like gonna struggle to get out of like the bed I'm in. I'm like, I can keep going. It'll settle down.
I hope so. I would still recommend seeing someone more qualified if you can, preferably sooner than later. Please don't push yourself too hard, as it seems you may have done a bit yesterday. He literally like motions to your hands, and then like looking down, you still see that like the skin hasn't fully formed over your knuckles yet.
Yes, I'll be sure to be more careful.
Please see that you do. I'm not upset about the cellar doors, by the way. Especially since they'll be repaired and replaced. Honestly, it's impressive that you were able to get out of those without even your weapon.
It's what the bloodline's known for.
People accuse me of locking up a monster in the cellar as well. Oh, dear. Hopefully it doesn't lead to any ill repute around here. People are already not the biggest fans of the pantheons. But if there's anything I can do for you before we leave town... The dwarven man that was sent over, Professor Iliad, he does seem to have come to, and the guard have been questioning him gently, I assure you, over at the temple, if you would wish to speak to him about anything that is going on. He seems very shaken and was having trouble speaking, but he seems to be doing slightly better now. I'll leave that up
Good
to you all, though.
hear. Be sure to visit before we head out.
I would appreciate that. Thank you. I'm going to get back now, and you see he goes to, like, leave a couple of silver on the table for his tea. Boris, I'll return the mug later. He's just like, keep it. You need it more than we do. I appreciate it. But yes, I'll be over and awaiting your company. Thank you again. Kind of walks out and goes to shake Trent's hand, as Trent was introduced to him as your waiter.
Oh god, yeah. And he just kind of puts his little wimpy hand out there.
And you see he sets his tea down for a second and clasps like your hand in both of his. Thank you so much for putting in a good word for the temple. We will not forget you.
You know, I mean, yeah, no problem, man.
And kind of just like nods and heads out. Yeah, the rest of the day is yours though. Still pretty early morning. About say 9 in the morning-ish.
Well, guys, should we go talk to our dwarven friend?
That's probably a good idea, right?
He seems. Yeah, I think we might need to have a little word with him.
We probably solved the cataclysms and stuff and all the events, right? It was the dwarf. It was all him.
Imagine.
Winter walks outside and gets struck by lightning. Solved it.
I didn't even feel it. Alright, where is dwarf?
He was resting up over at the Temple of Erasos, the place where you guys took Ragnar initially.
Oh.
The small shack temple. So yeah, if you guys are heading over that way directly, you would actually be flagged down by one of the engineers on the way over. Just excuse me, Mount Claw. Yes, it's just a small gnomish man. Seems like he's got some goggles around his
Sorry
neck and
about
some
that.
soot on his cheek.
I did that thing where I clicked a channel and it wasn't the right. It wasn't
Oh.
the next version of the
Classic.
channel.
I didn't even hear it because I had Streamlabs up. But I've
Oh.
done that so many times. But all I was saying was if you guys are heading over to see Professor Ilyard in his recovering state, there would be an engineer flagging you down. Small gnomish man, got a little soot on his cheek. Looks like he's been working really hard. Yes, I was told to notify Mount Claw. I was just on my way to the inn. I see you've already headed out for the morning. That your auto cart will be custom made. We have the town's best smiths on it and artificers working on it. There are a couple of small modifications that are being made now, but it should be ready within the next 1 or 2 hours. If you would just meet us outside of the gate whenever you would like to pick it up.
Oh, great! Sounds wonderful. Can't wait to try it out.
Of course. We'll have someone outside to show you how to operate it, and everything should go rather smoothly. As long as no more components are tampered with. I'm going to go back to work and hopefully go see my family. Goodbye. Walks off. He looks like he's been like overworked and underpaid for a bit. But back on your way over to the temple, you do see kind of a couple of the engineers and they're in their fancy coats outside, kind of like measuring out the area, seeing what they're going to have to move and stuff to make renovations. And as you head inside, you do see on one of the few cots that Oscar had laid out is the dwarven man, Professor Ilyard, kind of sitting up with a blanket wrapped around him. He looks very bruised. He's very, like, purple and scratched up in places. One of his eyes is almost swollen shut. His like dark brown hair that's like only around like he's kind of got like the horseshoe going on where like he's bald on top, but
Oh yeah,
it's pretty long down his back still. Kind of has like a big heavy like explorer mustache and a smaller beard on the end for dwarves, which is still a decent sized beard. But kind of looks over and sees you guys and looks back down at his cup. Doesn't really say anything. You see a couple of the guards sitting across from him, just kind of wave at you. It's a tiefling man kind of speaks up. And he's been somewhat cooperative. Seems a little shaken up by everything that happened. But he was also dead to rights unless you pulled him out of that thing. And pretty sure he... Well, I'll let you talk to him. Kind of like nods to the other guard. They take their leave.
I don't quite
Well,
remember.
who wants to start it?
I'll say this is like as me, not Winter. I don't even
Is there like an
remember in the
on
fight.
switch?
I mean, start the conversation.
Oh, I thought you were talking about our auto wagon.
No, this was talking about the dwarf.
Ah,
Well, I mean, you seem pretty good at talking to people when we were in the prison earlier, so why don't you do it?
Little
Let's
less
put it this
energy,
way,
though.
Trina. I think that might be a little bit of luck. I think this guy might be a little bit more cooperative.
Oh, okay, well.
If you can grab
I
him.
think Trina, you might be the one might could handle
then
the,
I
the
could
talking
always
here.
What
put
am I
on a
supposed
show if needed.
What am I supposed
like,
to talk to him about?
Flex.
And you know what his plan was with all the parts and things like that. What he was doing, well, kind of what was going on.
I mean, that's fair. I just, I didn't. Okay. And then Trent's gonna walk up to him and just awkwardly stare at him for like a bit until he says anything.
Like, you know what? Give me a general charisma check real quick. No
Oh, God,
persuasion,
this
no
is a
nothing. Just
mistake.
raw charisma.
Okay. It was a 13.
Fair enough. You lost. If you're looking for the
What?
tavern to perform, it's across the road.
No, yeah, no, I'm good. Thanks for the directions. I, so what were you doing with that thing? What were you trying to do?
Wouldn't you like to know, Loot Boy?
Yeah, it'd be kind of nice.
Gonna be. Let me ask you something first. Is there anything you wouldn't be willing to do to try to save yourself if you were going to be dead in a year's time?
I mean, it kind of depends on like where I'm at in my life. Say I was like, 90 years old or like towards the end of my life, I probably wouldn't care too much about it. But like, like say I'm like where I am now, yeah, probably I'd do something like that.
If you lost most of the people you cared about and you work with for your time, let's say you lost this entire party right here in front of you right now, and they wanted you to live for them. What then? What are the limits that you would go to stay alive?
Well,
Do you know what it's like to lose people you care about? Boy.
Yeah, I do. It, uh, I understand how you feel, but like you just I feel like we could get along a little better if maybe there wasn't this kind of like, you know, angy going around. Maybe if um you know, we both relax a little bit and we just, you know, got it out of us, you know.
Give me a persuasion off of that, if you would. Sorry, I didn't notice the music stopped.
It
14.
came back on for me.
Oh, I was gonna say I would have just put it back on, but hell yeah, I had to like re-hit the little thing.
Like that. Oh yeah.
Let's do this one for now. Actually, no. There we go. God, plus 12 on persuasion.
Who's that?
Good old expertise.
I'll fucking do it. Look, I'm not feeling the best, and I've not had the best experience with respectfully Underdark people or anything to deal with the Underdark.
Yeah, that's fair, I guess. I mean, I've heard stories about us, but I'd say I'm more of like, you know, some of those top dwelling elves more than I am a, real drow. I don't mean to
Yeah.
come off as a overbearing just because of the way I look.
Look, I was put up to this because I saw an opportunity to stay alive. I was approached by one of those automatons. One that I initially thought was from here, from Deadlock. It was it's outside of town, south of Deadlock. There's what looked like an automaton scout that had been modified of some sort. Approached me and found me while I was on one of my trips across. Like to go back and forth between, you know, Zarmalash and the Emberwood for work. I had collapsed on the roadside, and it saw that my body was essentially failing. Woke up in a very dark, metallic room, and a voice was talking over the intercom, asking me if what I would be willing to do to go on living. They told me that I had a very nasty affliction in my lungs and spreading through my body. And if I wanted to deal with it, that they could provide me with essentially new body parts. They could provide me with mechanical lungs, potentially. And if I waited long enough, I would essentially need more than just that. My nervous system would fail. My skin would eventually wither. Whatever was taking root in me was going to consume me within a year if I didn't do anything. So I accepted. All they asked for in return was an abundance of magical items or magical essence that they could extract. I didn't ask questions, but they did show me proof that some sort of mechanical body could exist. So if I was able to do that, then so be it.
I mean, like this, and then I kind of like hold my arm out, pull my sleeve down, and like kind of like Iron Man, like how like pieces of it kind of like flex out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I do that with my arm.
Similar. Aye.
By the way, does Does this what he's explaining to me? Does it seem like the same thing that I have?
It sounds similar, but yours is more blood related. What he's
Okay.
describing is more some sort of. It's almost closer to what you're determining is going on with Ragnar.
Okay.
Except his sounds less, like I said, less blood related and more just like something has kind of taken root in his system. Similar to that, except whatever he was completely mechanical. Similar to, if you're familiar with a Warforged type. They're not the most common, but it would be. It's been taboo thinking about trying to transfer a consciousness from a body to a mechanical unit, but it seems he's managed to do it, so it's impressive. I would have been a fool to not be at least intrigued by the offer. I've been, At first I thought it was just a bad cough after a mining expedition. Turns out, it was far worse. And he, you see he, his hands actually start shaking a little bit. It looks like he's kind of clamming up and, he seems to be thinking about something that he doesn't want to talk about. But he kind of just shuts up after that.
Well, if I'm being honest, I kind of sympathize with what you got going on. It's not too far from what's, things that I've had to do in my past, stuff like that. Luckily, I was given a second chance, and I think that, everyone should be given that opportunity. If you can help us out here, I can try to help you out in a short-term way and potentially, hopefully, in a long-term way, as it does not exactly stray too far from my own personal goal.
See, he kind of gives an incredulous chuckle, just like, what, you gonna turn me into a middleman too?
Well, I think today I was going to see if I could help lessen your symptoms, and maybe down the road, if that's what you want, I can try that, or I can try other means. Well, I
See.
might be good with
Good.
mechanical stuff. I'm also a doctor.
See, he kind of cocks an eyebrow at that. You'd have to be a better doctor than the ones they have in Voldaris, then. And you see he kind of you see his eye go wide for a second, the, oh no, I shouldn't have said that moment. Then he kind of looks away.
Write that down.
He said he's the doctor's where?
The doctor's in Voldaris, which was the,
Voldaris.
yeah, the big country with, the borders sealed up right now.
I see. Do I know why that would be something that he would why that would be something he didn't want to say? Or anybody? Would they know?
I mean, just
The
generally
only-
locked up place. Suspicious.
Go ahead and, I will say, give me a history check. The DC is going to be pretty high. It's going to be an 18.
Pretty high. Okay.
And which place did he say?
Voldaris. Big blue country directly north of Shatterhold.
Thank you.
All right. Well,
Gotcha.
+4.
Or
I mean, that's pretty close.
Providence,
I'm
whatever you want to call it.
above that one, where I came from.
You feel like, not any time recently, but you remember that there were some rumors of like medical illness or like issues within Voldaris around. It was, you're not exactly sure. It was a while ago. It was mostly while you were more you would have been younger for sure, but also still kind of stuck in your work as well, or like at least starting to work. But you remember, like, you've heard stories and whispers about, you know, like, there used to be rumors of, like, bad illness going around Voldaris, but you can't exactly pinpoint like, what memory is telling you that. Yeah, he kind of clams up again and kind of just, look, it's nothing major. Like I said, I'll likely just be dead in a year anyway. You don't have to worry about me.
Hey man, listen here. Like I said, your situation is not too different from mine, and I was in a situation where I thought that pretty soon I'd be gone too, and then somebody, for no apparent reason, helped me out. That's just what some people do.
What if you can't help? What then?
What if I
can't
can?
help? Give me a persuasion roll for that.
Living's overrated.
Literally
love-
just the energy behind it.
Well, that's a flat roll. Not the most charismatic man in the world.
Can I
Oh.
help? Can I use a help action?
What are you doing or saying to help?
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna just kind of slam my head, or not my head, my hand on the...
Right into the wall.
What the fuck? Yeah, do it, Jesus.
Slam my hand on the table. Like, have you ever seen that Kiryu meme where it's like he learns what sex is? And he
Just slams his hand on the desk and walks out. Yeah. That's like the one Yakuza meme I reference all the fucking time.
But yeah, he slams his hand on the table and is like, "This man is trying to cure a centuries-long blood curse for my people to keep me alive. I think he can help you."
All right, yeah. Go ahead and roll with advantage.
Intimidate that man to be persuaded. I'm stuck on the slamming the head part.
Oh,
The DC wasn't
If
as high,
only
but
I-
it was higher than 5.
if only I was.
Can you
Language.
any guidance? Can I guidance that?
I will allow a guidance.
Will that matter?
10.
Can't all be bangers.
The DC was 10, right?
The DC was actually 8. I just wanted to let you guidance anyway.
Hell yeah!
Oh, hell
Okay.
yeah.
Oh, hell yeah.
You see him, like, he kind of, like, looks at Ragnar almost shocked at hearing something sparked in his eye when he heard the centuries-long, like, curse deal. And he kind of just, like, looks down at his cup. Do you know why Voldaris is sealed up? If I'm a dead man anyway, I don't need to... Potentially a dead man. I, don't mean to offend. I don't see any reason to keep it cooped up anymore.
I don't actually know why I know.
Not many people do. Outside of Voldaris, anyway. About 20-ish years ago, I was working for the royal court of Voldaris. I was working under Queen Aria and King Bran. Honestly, better people than most people give them credit for. The rumors have it, though, that people think that the King of Voldaris may be dead. And there has been no official statement made to the public. But he fell very ill after an expedition that he requested by myself and my team a long time ago. And if that is the case, then that might be indirectly on my hands. I'm glad that none of you seem upset by that, so I'm just gonna keep going. You see, he was very much like gauging the reaction in the room as to like, is anybody going to kill me for potential regicide? But
Our king's alive. Right there.
right.
On the down low, I'll be honest, I'm not a huge fan of the monarchy. I'm just saying, as an institution.
I'm not trying to
As
get
player or
canceled
as
here, but
Anyway, though, they had ordered myself and my crew. They heard that there was a lot of land's blood that was beneath the borders of Shatterhold, around beneath Deadlock, beneath Shatterhold, possibly even as low as Port Ironshell. And they weren't on the best terms at the time. They didn't there wasn't a war going on or anything, but it would be a bit rude for them to overstep and be like, you're essentially asking for your neighbor's gold mine. So they had tunnels, and they had expedition crews that they sent into the Underdark from different parts of Voldaris. Once that had been cleared enough, and enough people had been thrown at it, me and my team were escorted to where they thought was some sort of ancient drow temple, looked like, some sort of place of worship. Had this massive purple crystal sitting in the middle of it on an altar. We were able to get a sliver of it to take back. Nothing attacked us on the way back, and I'm still the only one that made it out. Whoever held that thing slowly was corrupted from the inside out, and all I saw was their skin turning a dark purple to black, and their veins nearly bursting out of their body. They all just doubled over. They went into fetal positions. They broke one by one until I was the last one to finally make it back and crawl out of the hole. And if I didn't make it, it would have been for nothing. And I did. Made it back, and I handed it over to King and the Queen, and I was handsomely compensated for my work, and I mean, what's the price of Survival's Guild?
I mean, it's not exactly your fine. I understand, but I mean,
350.
I think that's pretty. Yeah, that sounds about right.
Reasonable.
If only.
So this, what happened to this thing? This crystal shard.
You see he kind of tenses up for a second, and then he loosens up and just kind of sighs.
I can't help you if you don't tell me.
I know. He gets the very, he finally just breaks the wall of the, fuck it mentality at that point. It is rumored that the king was fascinated by it and wanted to harness some form of its power and potentially bring the whole thing back. but they would have to find a way to contain it. And while there was never, like I said, an official statement, the king did fall very ill after handling it, and I warned them. I told them what happened to my crew. I told them that whatever was in that thing was corrupting people, breaking people. And they simply deemed that my crew was deemed missing or dead from the dangers of the Underdark. And I was to tell no one that that little sliver is what caused it. It was only yay big, and you see he's like, hold on here, I can... and he, tries to, you hear his wrist crack in a couple of places, and he winces, but, you do see him, move his fingers for a very familiar, form of, prestidigitation cantrip. Or, a minor illusion cantrip. And in his hand, he has, just a small crystal shard, hovering in place, almost like as, a display model type deal. And it looks very similar to when you returned to Shatterhold once, and those cloaked figures in robes were asking about if you guys had seen shards of Voldaris, the yellow crystal shards.
Sure.
But this one is a deep blackish purple with a similar essence coming off of it. The whole thing was much larger and seemed to be far more dangerous. We couldn't stay close to it for more than a few seconds at a time. But this was what we were able to get back. And to bring the whole thing back would take immense power to contain it, I feel. But I heard through a few pipelines that apparently they found a way to contain it, but not before the king fell ill. And people were saying it was a simple cough, some people were saying a plague was spreading. But his symptoms were very similar to mine. Skin was growing more pale. Respiratory system was starting to fail. And if he spent more time around it than I did, then I feared the worst for him. Queen Arya had the borders sealed shortly after those rumors were spreading. I'm not sure if she was stricken with grief or didn't want it getting out of the country or what, but there have been no real developments since. And I decided to leave of my own accord as okay, well, of my own accord, as in, I may have been smuggled out because they didn't want me to leave with the information I had. But, I couldn't be there anymore. Not after what I had seen. Not after potentially killing the king of the largest country on Voldaris.
Well, I don't think you killed him. I think he, well, you know.
Sounds more complicated.
It also sounds kind of like you gave them the warnings and everything they needed to know, and they still decided to ignore
Heavy
sound
is the
advice.
head, that way it's the crown and all.
Exactly.
You know what? You're
He's
right.
dead,
When you
though.
tell someone which way to point a sword and they point it the wrong way, that's on them. You know what? Yeah, I've had a long day. I've had a long life.
And okay, so one thing I want to say is I can, obviously I can try to help you and see what I can do. But my question is, what are you gonna do if you're cured? Because I'm very much a believer that if you're gonna be given a second chance at life, that you need to do something worthy of it, right?
I'm going to live. Going to go to an inn and stay there and maybe find a house and someone to settle down with, and I want to live the rest of my life. That's what my crew wanted for me. All of us agreed that if anything were to happen, that if at least any of us made it out, that we just simply made sure it wasn't for nothing.
Well, looks like my patient list keeps growing.
Dr. LeBlanc.
Can you ship him to Eminence or Mount Claw? Mount
I
Claw's
start a
pretty
clinic in Eminence.
God,
I don't think they have
it's
clinics.
just trauma center.
You go into
Doctor,
House
it's your
Ragnar.
15th case of blunt force trauma today.
Looks over at House Ragnar at the pile of bodies.
Patience.
Anyways,
But yes, I just want to live out the rest of my life. That's all. I think that's all anyone could ever ask for.
I would agree with that.
I did. I did always have dreams of heading over to Grandstand and seeing one of the tournaments there, but maybe that's something I can hold on to for now.
Is he like being detained or anything?
As far as you can tell right now, when you saw the guards leave, they kind of just stepped outside. So it feels like they're probably going to lock him up after he's been deemed that he's in a healthy enough state for, almost causing mass murder in the middle of town.
All right, so here's the thing, right? That's all well and good that you want to live your life out, and all that kind of stuff. I will say you're kind of in some hot water right now, so we're gonna need to think of something good to get you out of that. Something you can do, or I don't know, something you can offer. Because as it stands, I can cure you, but it looks like you might be being on a long vacation or something.
If they're willing to not execute me after the things that I've done here and elsewhere, I do know my way around the insides of an automaton, respectfully. Suppose if they have any sort of public service that I could do with repairs or anything like that, maybe I could offer that, but otherwise, I'd really not go back underground or in the ground, if possible.
Well, I guess we can see what we can do.
If you could put in a good word with Selma, Miss Orlov, it would be appreciated.
Will do.
And just don't go telling everyone that I, might have been responsible for the death of a patriarch.
Oh yeah, I won't say anything about that.
Right. Not important, of course.
Walks outside.
Also, again, you're also
I
again.
just fucking killed that dude.
One of the guards stick their head in the door. Did you fucking kill King Braun?
Again, I don't think you actually killed him. I think
Of course. That is both in and out of character coughing. That's me dying and him dying.
Nah.
How meta.
Right.
Right.
Well, is anybody got anything else to ask, or?
No.
No.
if you could do me a favor and just tell Miss Orlov I'm sorry. I didn't intend for this to harm anyone. I just the Zelmora float was more of a mistake on timing on my behalf. I kind of fell into it when I was posing as a worker, and I had intended to take the court out before the parade, and I sort of fell in and hit my head inside and knocked myself out for a little bit. I apologize for that. The wormlings, though, those aren't that dangerous. I wasn't too worried about that. And you see, he kind of realizes, like, did you happen to see a man with a bag of control cores, by the way? Smaller ones, like for the wormlings?
Do they look like this? And I just pull it out.
Okay. Good. Because at this point, if I'm in this position, I'm not going back to that fucking mad metal man, whatever he was doing.
Do you know what these were for?
He didn't say.
He didn't
told
say?
me.
Oh,
He told me not to ask questions. He just said that he needed them for something very important, and that he was...
you know where we can find this guy, or find out where to find where he is?
I was... No, to be honest. My memory's a little fuzzy. But I imagine if he's... It depends on his reach, but if he's got his own automatons working around this area, I would wager it'd be somewhere in at least the country of Shatterhold. I don't know how close it is to the actual city. As I woke up in that room, he told me that he needed that to do great good for this realm and this, that, and the other, and that he'd give me a new body that would keep me alive, and after that I just kind of blacked out and woke up in the woods outside of Deadlock.
All right, then. Anybody else got anything?
Oh,
Mm-mm.
Can I go back to bed now?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're fine, dude.
sleep well, Kingslayer.
Take your fucking tongue. Rolls back over.
Thought about yelling as we left, but probably not.
Yeah, no, everybody else had kind of left the room for that. Even Oscar had kind of gone out to the little, like, kind of like a front desk type deal outside of the main room. Just to let you guys do whatever you needed to do. He wasn't sure. He's seen some of the guards, like, rough some people up here before, so he wasn't sure, he'd prefer the plausible deniability. So he's kind of sitting out front and just kind of waiting.
All right, well, you guys want to head out?
What do you guys have?
All right. If you're heading out on the way, Oscar just kind of asks, how did it go? Is he still breathing, I hope?
Yeah, he's in there. Taking a real good nap.
You
I'm
know what
asking if you killed him.
If you know what I mean. Oh, he's sleeping right now.
Talos. Oh, is he
Wink.
is he going to wake up?
Yes, he's gonna wake up.
Oh, goodness! Don't
On this plane, I don't know.
out, all of you. No. You see, he looks like he needs an inhaler. Just like kind of holding his chest, one hand on the desk. I hope you've got what you needed from him. going to go see to him if that is quite alright with you. And again, thank you. Kind of heads back in to just check on him. You see the 2 guards waiting outside. Just like, we can take him away whenever all this is taken care of. We'll make sure Oscar fixes him up first.
I'm going to use the restroom real quick.
Okay. Y'all want to just take like a quick 5-10 minute break after that?
Yeah, let's take like a 5-minute break.
Sure.
That's fine.
Okie dokie. We will be right back then. Stretch your leg, get some water, do whatever you gotta do. Go pee.
Okay, since you said so.
Well, guys, it looks like we got some leads on some or other.
Mhm. Mhm.
Oh.
Oh.
Nessie. Big old this.
What do you guys think we should do next?
Oh. I'd like to see what everybody wants to do.
You guys want to take a spin in the new car?
Hell yeah,
The new-
brother.
The new rad?
Fucking rad.
Who's gonna be our driver?
The crab.
The crab.
I feel like if it's not the crab, it has to be Ragnar.
Need for Speed. You guys been playing Predecessor?
Yeah, we've been sweating our balls off in that game.
Yeah, you doing all right?
Yeah, I'm
What rank
almost
are you
plat
guys?
2.
I'm gold 3. Almost plat 1. Right there.
I've been at the fucking bottom of plat 2, top of plat 1 for like 2 days now.
I got a friend who plays, or like a guy at work who plays League, and he was talking. He's like, "Yeah, a few years ago I was playing this game. I can't remember what it was called." And he explained exactly what Paragon was. I was like, "Are you talking about Paragon?" It's like, "Yeah." He's like, "Man, I wish I could play that game again."
Good
I was like, "Well, I have
lord.
news for you, buddy."
Could you imagine? I actually have information. That's funny.
I have a lot of information. Actually, there are 2 games you could play. Have you touched What's the other one? Overprime?
No, I haven't touched that one personally. Oh, okay. I'll be right back.
Dan, do you know what the deal is with that? By the way,
What?
Overprime and Predecessor, like, but they're both based off Paragon, and I'm just very confused.
Thing about, I don't know, 2 different groups. 2 different groups trying to remake the old game.
I think Predecessor's a little bigger than
I think so.
Prime is. I don't know why they don't just come together and work on the same project.
I know.
I'm back. Oh.
Welcome back.
Guys, if we keep going at this rate, this campaign is going to turn into like Grey's Anatomy.
Hell yeah.
An episode of ER. Eileen, I've cooked up an idea.
All right.
Hold on.
You just don't want to say what it is.
It's funny you mentioned that, John, because in Like a Dragon, I've been doing this fucking mini game called Sujimon, which is just Pokemon.
Yeah.
And I've been playing this mini game longer than I've been playing the game.
Back.
Okay. Well done feeding the animals, taking care of everything. Everybody here?
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
Marty? Marty, are you dead? Merge?
Merch.
Merge.
Merch?
Barm.
Crab?
Crab? Crab's here. Crab's always here in our hearts. I did hear you guys overheard you guys talking about predecessor though. And yeah, no, I think it's basically like Epic initially had Paragon, and then like when they pulled the plug, they publicly released the
killed it,
assets.
and
Yeah.
then- yeah.
So like Dan was saying, it's just two different groups with
fine.
differing visions for it, working on
Ah,
different
gotcha.
projects. At least as far as I understand. Marty's the
Yeah.
professional here.
Yeah, Marty's the one who's been through every fucking version of that game. Now there's Schmaragon. Fucking Schmaragon.
Don't. Softly don't.
There's the Aloha Happy Tour.
I will say, like, in terms of MOBAs, it definitely like
You guys been playing it a lot. Yeah.
for being early access, it's really good.
Yeah, it's good.
And then like there are definitely things it needs to work on. There's definitely like some balancing, but of course early access, you know, holding hope for that to get taken care of. The big thing is just the matchmaking is really poor right now in terms of putting you in with similarly skilled players. I had a game last night where I am also like gold 3, and which is, you know, higher end of gold coming up on the lower end of platinum. And I had a gold where I think like the enemy's carry was welcome back. The enemy's carry was still in his placement matches, so he was still within his first 10 games of like playing the game. And there were 2 diamond players in that lobby. So like
Jesus.
it's incredibly it's just a mixed bag of you get whatever the fuck you get. They said they're gonna implement ranked this year, which hopefully really helps. If you want to play with similarly skilled players, you play ranked type deal, which would be perfect, and I think that would solve a lot of issues and give more people a reason to get on, because a lot of people just like climbing, and I feel like that'd be fun too. But we'll see. Holding out hope. Hopefully they keep going with it, because it's been a blast. Okay.
Down in the box.
Yeah, no. What would Mount Claw like to do now in Deadlock, now that you're officially done speaking with Professor Illiard there?
Tavern Brawl.
Tavern Brawl?
I thought that maybe we'd want to go check out the new whip. You know, the new toy. Hey,
Oh yeah, the auto wagon.
yeah.
Absolutely.
All right. If you do want to check that out, that is going to be waiting for you outside of the gate whenever you are ready to head out.
Yep, ready for that.
All right.
Let's do it.
Making your way back toward the south gate by where you came in. Like, a lot of people seem really friendly, and a lot of people seem to be, you know, kind of smiling and waving at you guys. Very appreciative, of course. Then seems you've made a name for yourself here. Seems people, you know, recognize you and they know you. Feels good to be making a difference. And coming back up to the gate, you see the small black-scaled kobold with scars all up his back and like the metal scales replacing some of his normal scales. Kind of see you guys and turn around and run up to you. Well, I appreciate what you guys did for the town. Got something special for you. You see he kind of like has a little like scroll-esque like clipboard thing that he's looking at. As there were a couple of minor modifications made by yours truly here that I hope you enjoy. So without further ado, and he goes to it. He kind of like puts his hand on the gate as if he were gonna push it, and just kind of goes like, "Guys, you really need to. You gotta pull the chain up there. You know I'm too small for this." And like tries to make it look like he's pushing the gate open, but you hear like the grinding of chains as like the gate's being raised. It's like a heavy iron gate, and actually he's lifting it up. On the other side, you see Miss Orlov and a team of engineers standing around and doing final checks on what looks to be a design similar to the large metallic dragon float, the Zelmora float that you were against the day before. Seems that they've taken a standard auto wagon, rigged it up with some treads along the sides, since those won't be being used anymore. It has a standard like cover that comes up over the top, like a regular covered wagon, except it seems to be a little more durable than just a standard like cloth cover. Looks like just some light metal material. And along the top of it, where it is braced, it does have from the top jaw up, soldered onto the top is the top half of the head of the Zelmora float, the top half of the metal dragon head, kind of soldered onto the top. And the eyes, you see as Miss Orlov like presses a button on her wrist, she looks up and the eyes on the top light up, and you hear the engine inside start up a little bit. Kind of presses another button, turns it back off. Takes the little bracelet off of her wrist. Well, it's nice to see that you could finally make it out here. Mr. LeBlanc, I believe you were the one that requested this.
Yes.
Well, this is officially yours. Call it whatever you want, do whatever you want with it. Got some, we were gonna have to wait a little bit on new materials, but since, we won't be using, this old float anymore, we decided to just repurpose it and slap some of the parts onto one of our existing wagons. Yeah, we hope you like it.
Guys, I think I got an idea for a name.
And what would that be? Do let us hear it.
The Auto Crab.
The Auto... She kind of like cocks her head, looks really confused. Looks over at the crab in your group.
How do you think we've been getting anywhere in this? Crab's been pulling us everywhere. Now the crab can sit back and relax just like we do.
I just assumed it was like a horse for you, but I mean, if it's just as much a part of the team, then by all means.
The hell do you call her crab?
I just assumed you were using it as a sort of, you know, like beast of burden.
Literally a druid.
Do you not sense the
Is that just a big druid?
magic?
Yes.
Are you wild shaped right now? Can you come out? Can you understand me? You can understand me if you're... The crab just stares at her.
I mean, you call
Well,
him
it's
a
a
horse.
druid, but
I'm not gonna talk to you.
actually, I mean, technically, the crab can it just like change into a mouse in my hand?
Oh my god. Can the mouse wild shape into just a human?
Okay,
We're getting into dangerous territory.
hold on.
A
I
beast
didn't
wild
ever
shaping
put two
into a
and two
humanoid.
together that the crab wasn't an actual, like it was something wild shaping into a crab.
I never thought about that either, but
Yeah.
Can you imagine?
How many
No,
sessions
it's,
until
no,
we
it's just a
speak to
crab.
animals?
It's just,
Okay.
it's a gigantic crab.
Okay.
Don't worry.
Okay.
As
Like,
you're...
it's technically wild shape, I've never used it really because it's never.
I was gonna say, do you want it to wild shape into a mouse to go into your hand?
Yeah, I could. Yeah, just to prove the point that it is just a crab.
If you ask it to, you see it kind of like the eye stalks look over at you. It and you see like from where you had the encounter with the owlbear, the druid cant, I believe it's called. The druid cant glyph on the top of its shell starts glowing this like sylvan green, and you see its form like light up essentially and then shrink down into that of a tiny field mouse and then crawl up your leg into the palm of your hand. Huh. So I guess it's able to wild shape. Where does its like people form though?
It's the crab.
The crab can turn into other animals.
It's a druid. Haven't you met
I
a
don't
druid
think-
before?
I don't think you understand. This is a crab, not a
This
not
is-
a not a
th-
being.
Yeah, this
like,
is not a
like,
person
like
who was wild shaped into a giant crab. This is a
It's a
giant
crab.
crab who is druidic in nature, who has the potential to be a powerful druid in its own right, and I am attempting to help it ensure that it doesn't become one hell-bent on evil.
Okay, well, don't make me look like the arsehole here. I can't just go out and get a cat and teach it to turn into a dog.
Well, I mean, I feel like with enough effort, you might be able to do that.
I'll
Don't
That
call
just
the dog
feels
a
like you
horse.
don't want to try.
I will get R&D right on that.
Okay, all right. No, but that's fair. I get that. But at the same time, this is what I've been living with for a little while.
Well, it's impressive and unique, to say the least. Consider me fucked.
I will.
But anyway, now you and your crab druid not person friend can ride on the cart without having to pull it with you. Should sustain plenty of weight. It's roughly double the size and capacity of a normal cart.
That's good. Fantastic.
Is there anything else we could be doing for you? Mr. Zolan, we got your request for the temple to be fixed up, and we'll get on that right away.
Hell yeah.
I'm sorry, who are we talking to right now? It's so just to double check.
Chief Engineer, Miss Selma Orlov.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Yep.
Another order of business. So the dwarf who is currently being tended for, yesterday.
Yeah, about that. Are his knees broken?
Don't think so.
Perfect. I'll have the pleasure.
No. I think we talked to him a good bit today. I think maybe he was sort of under duress, if you know what I mean. His life was kind of at risk, and when someone gets in that kind of state of mind, they'll do crazy things. He feels bad for everything that happened, and I don't think it's something that he's going to do going forward.
He's gonna feel
said
bad.
that I think you could do something a little bit more. Listen, I believe that you could go with a more gentle approach here instead of violently hurting this man and trying to punish him that way. Why don't you try and get some use out of him? He said he's good with he said, like, what did he say, mechanics and stuff like that?
Yeah, he said he knew his
robots?
way around, like, the general, like, inner workings of automatons and stuff.
He's he said he's very good with automatons, and he's very much willing to lend his services to try and redeem himself.
In the state he's in, it's gonna take him a while to recover, I think. You're asking me to put a lame horse in a race instead of sending it to the glue factory.
Well, here's the thing, right? Well, first of all, I mean, he's not a horse. He's a whole person.
Everything
That's
is
a
basically a
whole
horse. I want you to know that.
Are you? What is? I don't.
It's a lot to
I mean,
unpack
said I don't
here.
know if that's I don't know if the
That math ain't there. I don't think, but
and second of all, even if that was a horse, look at this crab, right?
Look at this
that's a
crab.
horse. But see, that's the thing. That is also a horse to this individual.
Exactly. I'm gonna turn back to everyone. Listen, guys, if she ain't listening here, I think we might be having a jailbreak here. I don't know if I can follow these people. I'm not sure about these people. We might have saddled up with the wrong horse.
They're all crew.
Got some bad horses.
Look, you've got one chance to change my mind on this. Otherwise, I won't break his legs. I'm just mad. But otherwise, he's going in a cell for nary 50 years.
Again, what would the point be
Least.
of just putting him in jail when you could actually get some actual value out of him?
The man just pulled the control core out of the Zelmora float, the most dangerous fucking thing that we have in the middle of town, just
Well,
because
why
he
don't-
wanted to.
Why don't you talk to him? Again, like I said, he was under duress. Have you ever been in a situation where, your life was in danger and you'll pretty much do anything? That's all I'm saying. Also, I believe, in my opinion, that people deserve second chances. That was not always the person I am today.
Second chances are nice, but even as someone who worked in not the best circumstances for a good chunk of my life, I wouldn't put a whole crowd of people in danger in the middle of a parade. There are children that could have died. You're asking me to stick my neck out on his behalf. What am I going to tell the people? Yeah, we're going to let this guy work on robots now that he almost caused a robot to kill a bunch of children. You see, she's wrestling with it, like she comprehends what you're saying. She's not just like brickwalling you out. but she's kind of like got her hand up to her temple, like, how do I handle this? What am I supposed to tell them? What do you want me to tell the people?
Well, okay, hang on a second. I got an idea, and I look at Ragnar. All right, here's the idea, Ragnar. So you can say you did whatever you want with this guy. You let him go with us. We send him to Eminence, and he quote unquote does his time there.
We can arrange a prison work release program. Yes.
In the meantime, I can
By all
help.
intents and purposes, he's still incarcerated, just now under the jurisdiction of House Ragnar.
Where he can be of more use, and then the people,
And-
and then your people don't feel slighted for letting someone who did something bad to them go.
And subject to the sun pit, or whatever. The
This
sun
is true.
hole or whatever.
Well, I don't know if we give him the sun. I don't know. I still don't know what that thing is.
Sun
Really,
hole.
the sun hole. I still don't know
Hole,
what the sun
thank
hole is still, but you know, something tells me that a dwarf ain't gonna do too well with the sun hole.
And I think we pass on the sun hole.
So,
How would the crab do with this? Sorry, go ahead.
no, I was just going to ask, are you intending to take him then, or do you want me to just lock him up in secret and tell people that he was exiled?
Well, the idea is that we'll take him. You know, you say that he's either locked up or whatever you want to say. People aren't going to go check. You know, that's just not really what's going to happen. Not that they even could. And then you say whatever you want to say that gets the people happy. You know, you do that. And then we take him, and you never.
You could say that they're now under the authority of Firm Claw if you'd like. We can keep an eye on them.
Exactly. And if you think about it, if he was to go to Eminence, for example, I mean, man, does that not sound like if you're just talking to your people, like, doesn't that sound like a sentence?
It's true that the military presence in Eminence is fairly renowned, and not the most merciful. Go ahead and give me a persuasion check for all this.
God damn it,
Yep.
guys!
You got this. You got this. You got this.
I love that is Ragnar's fucking moral support.
Oh, that's what we're talking about. That's pretty good.
Not bad.
Take him, you get him out of here. I'll tell them that he's being shipped off to Eminence to be executed by the Archon of House Ragnar, because they did see you here.
They did. If anything, we could say he, with the, regicide,
What?
charges.
I'm sorry.
what?
The what now?
Ragnar realizes he wants
Ragnar, I think regicide. No, he cannot kill no one
That's the
named.
wrong word.
That's, forgive me, and
You don't know legal speak. Neither do
Yeah,
I, but
no.
I know that's not the right word.
You see the guards all kind of like looking at each other, like giving the a couple of them are actively sweating beneath their visors,
You know, why?
just kind of waiting for the reaction. You see some of them kind of
when
like
I-
reach under their coats.
that word has a different meaning within
I-
House Ragnar. What I meant was, obviously,
The king kills is when the king kills people, right? That's what.
yeah, yes. Regicide is what means the opposite of what you think it means, within the walls of House Ragnar. Our training is, you can see him trying to look for words. Our training is severe and extra, and sometimes people just don't make it. So when my hand is the one that unfortunately ends the life of one of our initiates, we consider that regicide. Slip of
Ragnar,
the
give me a
mind.
deception check, please.
Yeah. Yep.
Mm.
1 sec. I'm not good at that. Let me pull up my sheet.
You flex
I love-
on it.
I love that.
I don't know what to tell you. You kind of. Oh my god.
I know, I fumbled. Hold on. Let me roll.
Goes,
Oh no, I think it's hilarious.
It's
fucking
very in
oops.
character for the party barbarian for sure.
Yeah, to be like, oh, what do you mean? He simply just did regicide.
Oopsie. Your Honor, my client played Oopsie Daisy. Yes.
Okay, I get it.
Indeed.
Crisp +1.
Okay.
We'll take it. That's better than a plus nothing.
A minus.
Yeah.
There we go.
Okay.
18. That's pretty fat. That's pretty legit.
You see, she was tense and she finally lets out a breath. She's just like, I was going to say, if I find out, if you take this man away, and I find out that he has murdered, like, King Husseldorf or something in Shatterhold, I'm gonna be a war criminal. You understand that? For letting you take him away.
Aren't we all a little bit?
Just get him out. Just get him out. Take him out of
What are
here.
the chances?
I'm gonna have someone go get him right now. You get him out of here, and just we can call it a day.
We'll figure
Deliver
it
him
out.
to the auto cart is what you should do. To be honest.
You
We'll
come
take
with
it from there.
You come with me. And she like motions to you, Ragnar, like for you to.
Yep.
We're
Yep.
we're gonna make a show of this.
Yes, yes, yes.
Well, I'll walk with you. Just look posing.
Yeah,
While we carry him
come.
out.
And
And,
go ahead.
I mean, yeah, I'll just walk with her.
I'll
Mhm.
just have
Like-
my sword on my shoulder.
I like how our
walk through.
like our solution to everything is just send him to imminence.
Just fuck it.
We'll meet up with the monkeys.
There's a
and
solution.
Surely there will be no
somewhere.
consequences here. But yeah, no, she essentially
I'm
has you.
excited. Dude, I still want to do a one shot where we play as the gorillas.
Oh my God. Really do. Send them to the Dorito factory, wherever they're making those.
But she essentially like takes you back to the temple. She explains the situation to Oscar, and he's very amicable about the whole thing. And basically has it look like you and Winter are apprehending him, just like holding him under the arms and like taking him out of the city.
Just play along. Just play along.
She walks ahead of you. You guys carry him out, straight-faced. I will say Ragnar and Winter, just give me a performance check just to see.
Oh, that's the stream. That's not the right page.
At least once a stream has to happen.
We can try at least
That's my
once.
performance.
Is it a flat roll?
It's +1. Oh,
Plus one,
shit,
not
I
plus
did
exclamation point. I got you. It's
Yeah,
okay,
yeah,
so
that's
17.
Well, it's an exclamation point.
The person that the one that really needs to sell it is selling it. Ragnar is straight faced and kind of like eyeing the crowd and like nodding the whole time, just like giving the people
rookie
what they
next
want. Winter is like just like not really knowing how to look toward the people.
I can say it like because earlier I called him Kingslayer in the pen because I just think it's funny.
Oh,
I'll just be
yeah.
sitting there like giggling to myself.
Yeah, I was gonna say just like kind of smiling and chuckling the whole time, not really like not
Just
like
not matching the part.
yeah, like the only person who is not like taking this seriously, essentially. But you do manage to get to the gate, and like some people were just like, "Was that kind of laughing about it?" But you do manage to like get him up, and like they see him be loaded like into the cart. And
I'll have the crab put little like vine things on him. I
Mhm.
guess.
yeah,
Yeah.
just like weave a thorn whip around his hands or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I got you. And if we ever see you here again, you know how it's gonna end. You hear me? Yeah, I gotcha. You'll never hear from me again. Promise, no takebacks. She kind of nods and turns to go back into the city. You see, Goggles the kobold kind of just like cross his arms and like look a bit angry at the dwarf, but look at you guys and just kind of nod as the gate slowly lowers back into place. And you kind of hear him just like Am I good now?
You're good. You're good. You're good. Sorry, it was a little I said the wrong thing.
I saw her walk in that door, and my heart skipped more beats than it normally does.
My apologies. It'll be fine. We'll compensate you through the stipend program and imminence.
A stipend program?
Just
Do you not have a universal basic income?
I love the idea that Eminence is actually like a very progressive country.
You'd be surprised. It's about the capital, baby. He's just like, all right. So I thought I was gonna be working for them. What the fuck am I doing now?
Well, we're not sure, but she didn't seem too pleased with having somebody who attacked her population, working for them.
Yeah.
And so I made a deal that maybe we can take you away so that, they're happy and you don't,
get
spend the rest of
beheaded.
your life in jail or beheaded.
Want to know what made her get you out?
And like, as that's going on, you actually hear the gate open again. You just hear, we believe these are yours. Sorry, we may want to keep a head count a little bit better. And everybody, like, as you turn to look, you see Livia, your chronicler, just riding on the back of Henry very gently, just eating a candy apple from the festival, kind of just like waving back at the people. And she just kind of like looks at the situation, realizes who's in the cart, and like looks at you, Trent, and just writes a little "what's going on."
We're taking this man to Eminence. I'll be honest with you, with all the commotion going on, I kind of just forgot you existed for a minute there. I'm glad you're back. I mean, that's nice.
She just kind of like looks around, looks back at the dwarf, looks back at you, and like just nods and just nice. She also writes down, so are we going to Eminence?
I believe so.
I suppose it's time we go to Eminence.
We should probably check on a lot of stuff there.
We've sent a lot there. I haven't been there since.
Oh, yeah, we've seen a lot there.
Yes, I can't say I'm excited to go home, but let's do it, I suppose.
I get to see the sun hole.
We'll all get to see the sun hole.
Winter, are you going to jump in the sun hole?
I'm probably gonna jump in the sun hole.
I figured. You'll probably make it.
It's just sunlight. I'm in it all the time.
When he says it's just sunlight, I look at Ragnar.
I just give you the like the no, the it's not just sunlight. Like,
all right, yeah, we'll see.
Dude, I'm so sad the whole town didn't just find out about that. By the way, that was the best slip up.
It was close.
So funny.
It was down to a
I
roll.
wanted you to roll a nat one on
Eileen,
that.
was that you, or was that actually just?
I actually I forgot it wasn't public knowledge. You didn't.
Oh, that's so perfect.
Oh, yeah.
I love you guys. But with that, go ahead.
No, you're good.
All I was gonna say was, with that, you guys are free to head out toward Eminence whenever you like. And you do see, like, Livia would come up to you, Trent, and, like, just kind of, like, after you said that you're headed to Eminence, she kind of, like, scratches a quill to her, the bottom of her beak and, like, nods, and just kind of, like, writes up a little, like, general directional map from the basic location that you guys are right now. And, says it'll probably take a couple of days.
Yeah, that's fair.
We'll just cut through Voldaris, right? I mean,
You could try.
yeah.
That's a good idea.
What's the worst that could happen?
It's a line. It's the shortest distance between point A and point B. I mean,
I've seen this in anime all the time. It always ends up well.
I need to watch that cozy anime about the elf lady.
What's favorite?
Favorite? Yeah, whatever it's
Your
called.
favorite? It's good. Anyways,
nice. But if that is the case, you guys begin heading southwestish, like south-southwest, wrapping around the bottom half of Penumbra, and on your way out, just because of the way the paths go, you do see like you're able to kind of see where the path where the path splits up a little ways down to where you can actually start heading to the west. Going to the south, because you have to go to the south a little bit first, you do see the massive scar that was left in the ground from the rift that opened about, 200 feet off or so. You see a couple of deadlocks, like automated scouts, still checking it out, and seems like some of the smaller bots that can fly are flying in and out of there, seeing what they can find. But doesn't seem like any major word has come from that yet.
Keep an eye out for goblin survivors, everyone.
Of course. Winter, make a percent now.
Because I will say, Winter doesn't know about those guys going to Imminence. He was not gonna
Oh,
allow.
right. Yeah.
He assumes you killed them all.
So, also, I should probably bring this up at this point. The cart is operated by essentially a small artifice, enchanted wristband. It has some very basic settings on it. It's made to be tweaked, so if you do need to add any settings, you are able through a little bit of know-how, which Miss Orlov did believe that at the very least, someone of Art's caliber could provide if necessary, or with a little bit of work. The basic settings are literally just, it's not a complete auto-driving car, like a self-driving car, but it is very much you don't need a horse to drive it. It's kind of just a case of you can basically set it to go, stop, and for the time being kind of idle, essentially, to where it stays on but it doesn't just shut down. Other modifications can be made if you would like to both the cart and the wristband itself. I will put the details for that in the unique items channel, and y'all can do with that as you will. But you've acquired your auto cart, the auto crab, as it were. You have acquired a new passenger as well that may or may not have incidentally been potentially a war criminal.
Wow.
But not to anyone's knowledge, of course. And you guys are going to be heading off to Eminence soon. So, for that, we are going to go ahead and call it for the night, I think.
okie dokie.
That was fun. I'm glad I actually woke up for that.
Yeah, I'm glad.
Yeah, I'm so excited to do stuff with Ragnar, regarding the
Yeah, me
illness.
too. I'm excited for stuff to happen.
I have ideas of stuff I could try.
Yeah, if you want to shoot me some stuff, I might open a group DM with you, Cam, and
Oh yeah, cool.
Works for me. Alright, well, thank you guys. I'm glad you had fun. I mean, like I said, I'm glad you could be here. Hope you're feeling better soon.
me too. God, I don't know what I think it's food poisoning.
Yeah, at least food poisoning's super shitty and will
At
almost
least
always
it's
just
only gonna last for 2 days.
yeah, exactly. It's 2 days max, but it is so debilitating when you do have it.
So I'm dry. That's the only reason I think it's.
Yeah, when your body's just trying to purge it. That shit sucks. Oh, with that though, I was going to look for someone for another D&D stream, but I see Dread the DM is also going right now. So we're going to pass you guys over to them. I appreciate y'all. We'll be back in a couple of weeks with he does have a very good voice. and
Oh,
see how the party
Um,
going to Eminence goes.
if
What's up?
any of you are available, I invited everyone in my. I think all of you are in. If not, I'll invite you all in. I'm doing February 9th. I'm starting a Like a Dragon subathon. Wait a second. I got my events mixed up again. Is that February 9th or is that my Among Us Arena bracket? It is.
You're what?
I'm doing an Among Us Arena bracket.
Oh.
Man.
10 out of
Feel
10.
free to enter. There's mystery prizes. I am doing. Let me find my- no.
Bless you.
Bless you, Trent.
I am doing Among Us Arena bracket. Okay, that's into February. So February 9th starts my Yakuza subathon. If any of you want to jump in and just chat, it's gonna be like a donation-based thing where
I'll definitely try to, like, remind me for sure. Like, shoot me a message and let me know what's going on. Because, like,
King is all.
at the very least, like, even if I'm at work, I'll try to, like, put a work up before I go to work or something.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah. Send you guys over to Dread the DM. Have a great night. Back in a couple weeks, like I said, and we'll see how Eminence goes.
I want to meet Ed and Ed.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
I'm also
I feel
really
like we've been
excited.
teasing going to Eminence for a while. So it's
I have a
kinda like,
list.
Oh god.
You have a list of everyone that's there.
Yes.
I don't think Winter's gonna.
There's
fit
a long.
in.
We're gonna be like literally sitting in meetings for 2 fucking weeks.